Rolling.
Hey guys, Ron White here, two-time USA memory champion. If you like memory training and how to improve your memory, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. On this video, I'm going to talk to you about what Time Magazine got wrong. They got it wrong about why you can't remember names. So I'm going to talk about their article on how to remember names and why you can't, and where I think they went wrong and where I think they went right as well. Before we do that, if you really like memory training and how to improve your memory and you want to learn all about improving your memory, I have a course called Black Belt Memory. You can get a black belt in memory just like you can get a black belt in karate. If you go to the link down below in the description of this video, get my free gift gives you tips on how to improve your memory, but then get my black belt memory course. Now, let's talk about what Time Magazine got wrong about how to remember names. First of all, they got a lot right. This is a wonderful magazine, and I'm not knocking Time Magazine or this issue here. It's a great issue all in the brain and memory. But they did one article in here on how to it's titled "Why You Forget Names Immediately and How to Remember Them." And I guess in 2 pages, a couple paragraphs here, they did an okay job. All right, they did an okay job. And maybe I'm just nitpicking, but let me talk about it for a second. I underlined a few things here. In this article, they say a common name may be forgettable because it doesn't strike you as interesting or because you already know people with that name. I'm going to suggest to you the reason that you don't remember names is not because you met a Brian and you met somebody else named Brian and so you don't remember the name because you already know Brian. I think that's irrelevant. I really think it's irrelevant. They go on to say, on the other hand, a rare name may be easy to recognize but harder to recall. So personally, I think the easy names like Tom and Brian and Steve and Lisa and Karen are easier to remember than an unusual name, because an unusual name has no base in your memory. It doesn't have something you can latch onto. Like you meet somebody named Chen Shubain. You meet them and that name, it doesn't register. In order to remember something, in order to really remember something, if it's familiar to you and if it evokes an image in your mind, the chances of you remembering it are better. So here's what I'm going to say. Whenever I meet somebody named Brian, I think of a human brain, like a brain, Brian. When I hear Lisa, I think of the Mona Lisa. When I meet a Steve, I think of a stove, like you cook something on. So common names or names that you already have an image for are going to be more likely that you're going to recall them because it invokes an image. Yesterday, a woman told me her story, her life story. And then afterwards, she said, what were the points about my life story that really stood out to you? And I said, the story of you running to the helicopter. I remember that. The story of you taking all that medicine and being drowsy afterwards and not being able to sit up. I remembered that. And then I said, and here's why. I told her why I remember that. The reason I remembered you running to the helicopter is because it's a picture. The reason that I remembered you being drowsy and not being able to sit up at the table is because that's a picture. Here's the point. Your mind remembers pictures. So it really has, if the name is common or uncommon, that's irrelevant. And I don't think that is even a reason, a factor in why you remember the names. You remember a name if it can invoke an image to you, if it can make you see something. On here, they go on to say, you're not only remembering the name, but you're remembering the name in relation to the face, which is true. You need to attach that image that you're seeing to the face. One thing that they talk about is where they do get it right, is they give you a tip here, and they say, look for something distinctive on the person's appearance. And this is right, but they should have gone into more detail here. For example, the person may be wearing a bright red coat, and that's distinctive about their appearance, but it's only distinctive about their appearance for that day. You need to look at something distinctive about their appearance that you think is going to remain the same. Do they have a lot of hair, crazy hair? Do they have a shaved bald head? Do they have a beard? Do they have a big nose? Do they have big ears? So yes, Time Magazine is right. You do need to look at something for a distinctive appearance, but you need to look at something that's distinctive that you think is not going to change. So if you're tracking with me so far, number one, you need to have a picture for their name. Brian is a brain, Lisa is the Mona Lisa, Karen is a carrot, Steve is a stove, and you need to search for something distinctive on their face that's not going to change, most likely. I could shave my beard, but I'm probably not, okay? So they say that repeating the person's name is important, and I guess it is, but I think that's overused. People say, oh, if you just repeat the name 3 times, you're going to remember the name. I don't think you really are. You got to do more than repeat the name. I'm not saying it's bad to repeat the name in the conversation, but if you like, oh, hey, Steve, it's good to meet you, Steve. So how are you doing, Steve? So, Steve, tell me about yourself. If you do that, they're going to know you just went to like the Dale Carnegie course or something. And like, dude, you want to say my name one more time? Come on, it's obvious. So repeating the name does help, but don't overdo it. And I don't even think that's the biggest key. So they had some good tips here, but my tips are this. When you meet a person, look at their face, pick out something distinctive. They got a beard. They say their name is Brian. Well, then you imagine a brain in their beard for Brian. Or you meet a guy and he has really big ears and he says his name is Steve. So you imagine you're cooking his ears in the stove. So when you meet somebody, pick out a distinctive feature and then imagine their name as a picture on their face. That is going to do you more for remembering names than anything. As you're driving home that day, ask yourself, oh, what was about that person? Oh, it was his beard. What was on his beard? A brain was in his beard. Brian. Maybe when you even get home, get a journal out and write in that journal everybody that you met that week and their distinctive feature and the crazy images about the story that you created. And then go back and review. If you don't think about the person that you met 2 weeks ago, you're not going to remember their name long term. Review is an underestimated factor in remembering names. Use buildings as landmarks. Every time you drive by a building, ask yourself, who did I meet in that building that last time I was there? Who did I meet at that restaurant the last time I was there? Review is an overlooked factor in all this. Time Magazine got a lot right, but I have some few tips that I wanted to add to it because I think they overlooked some points. If you want to get my full memory course, go to blackbeltmemory.com. I have a link down below in the description. Click on that link, get my free gift, and then get my memory course. I really think you're going to love it and improving your memory. By the way, comment below with your name, and maybe I'll give you my picture for your name, or comment below with what you thought of this, and I'll see you on the next video.